Since introducing the shared cinematic universe, the MCU has filled up with Marvel characters. In Infinity War, there were 76 characters on screen at one time or another. 76! And that's not even everyone. Believe it or not, even with that many characters, not everyone has met. And with new characters on the way, there's even more team-ups coming. Here are some of the ones that we're looking forward to. Shuri and Tony Stark. While Black Panther was a runaway hit this year, there were more than a few characters that populated Wakanda who managed to steal the show. M'Baku went from petty rival to Wakandan anti-hero, and Okoye and her Dora Milaje amazed us. The favorite, though, was T'Challa's smart aleck genius sister, Shuri. Equally at home giving her big brother a hard time or engineering the impossible, Shuri was just one bright spot in a movie full of bright spots. Since the introduction of Black Panther in Civil War, Shuri has been fixing the unfixable. Whether it's deprogramming Bucky Barnes, repairing Emmett Ross's spine, or trying to separate Vision from the Mind Stone, was she saving her place when Glaive attacked or downloading Vision's brain? We can't wait to find out. Another thing we can't wait to see is for the girl genius to meet Marvel's playboy billionaire genius philanthropist. She already met Stark science bro Bruce Banner and critiqued the wiring work in Vision's brain. Shuri is the one character in the MCU that can match Tony in both smarts and being a smart aleck. Sure, we got to watch Stark's ego fence with both Doctor Strange and Star-Lord, but Shuri has both Stark's genius and cocky confidence that would make their meeting something to see. Plus, she might even give Stark an upgrade on his armor. We'd love to see what she'd do with it. Tony Stark and Rocket Raccoon. While we're on the subject of people we'd like Tony Stark to meet, he's only met half of the Guardians of the Galaxy. While Stark, Parker, and Strange teamed up with Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis, Rocket and Groot helped Thor forge a new Thanos-beating weapon. That team made its way back to Earth thanks to Stormbreaker's ability to create a Bifrost bridge, where they were able to meet Captain America and Bucky, who managed to take a talking raccoon and his tree buddy who only says, "I am Groot," in stride. Through his time as Iron Man, Tony Stark has had to adapt to a lot. He's met kings with superpowers, aliens, Norse gods, and a master of the mystical arts. Stark's signature move is to give everyone their own nickname, like Squidward or Underoos. Rocket, on the other hand, is always scheming. Fighting off the greatest threat to the universe, Rocket still found time to haggle for Bucky's gun and mechanical arm. Is Rocket trying to build a robot out of all these stolen robot limbs? Watching Tony try and process a character like Rocket while Rocket tries to scam the Iron Man suit off of Tony is sure to provide more than a few laughs, and after that snap, we could use a few. Ronan and the Avengers. One of the more notable no-shows for the big showdown in Infinity War was original Avenger Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. While it's hard to believe that the high-tech archer would have made a difference in the fight against the Mad Titan, his absence was felt anyway. We get a line telling us that Barton had retired, but little else. We finally got a hint at what's happened with Barton after the snap with the first trailer for Avengers Endgame. Hawkeye has taken on a darker persona, complete with a new costume and presumably a new name. Ronan. The road from Hawkeye to Ronan in the comics is a complicated one, involving dying, coming back to life in an alternate universe, dying again, and then coming back to life. That kind of thing might start to bum someone out. While the cycle of death and resurrection and death again isn't likely to be the MCU's Ronan origin story, it's no doubt going to be fueled by no small amount of heartache that has caused Barton to trade in his bow for a sword. That being said, Barton might in fact cycle through death and rebirth, since a key part of Endgame is going to be how our heroes bring half the universe back to life. Whatever the story may be, we can't wait to see how the new Hawkeye as Ronan meets his fellow Avengers. Captain America and Spider-Man. Now, you're no doubt saying Captain America and Spider-Man met in Civil War, and it was already awesome. Spidey stole Cap's shield. And you're right, they've certainly met, and it was incredible. One of the things that made the meeting of Captain America and Spider-Man so incredible, however, wasn't the amazing action sequences or Spider-Man marveling at the physics of Cap's shield. It was the meeting of two of the MCU's most idealistic superheroes. Captain America lives by a code, an idea that you stand up for the underdogs, even if you yourself are an underdog. While the MCU Spider-Man has never said his iconic line, he lives by the motto of, "With great power comes great responsibility." While Parker shares a love of science with Stark, it's that sense of purpose that really makes them a pairing we'd like to see. During that amazing airport fight in Civil War, the two native New Yorkers bonded over a shared ideal, even if they were on different sides of the conflict. Hopefully, we'll see these idealistic heroes united again in Avengers Endgame, because we'd love to see them fight side by side. Rogers would provide a good counterbalance to Stark in the role of mentor for the new Avenger. Peter Quill and Scott Lang. There are different kinds of heroes in the MCU. There are heroes whose powers are a burden that they have to channel, like Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and there are heroes that have an innate sense of responsibility that drives them, like Spider-Man and Captain America. Then there are those who found themselves in the role of hero who haven't taken many things seriously at all, including their role as a hero. For Peter Quill, that came when he found himself in the position of saving the galaxy from Ronan the Accuser, and for Scott Lang, well, he was drafted by the crusty Hank Pym to prevent the Pym particles from finding their way into the wrong hands. For both reluctant heroes, they use humor and sarcasm to deal with their new life of danger and excitement. While their carefree attitude has rubbed some of their companions the wrong way, they've provided a much-needed break in the tension, as the stakes have slowly increased in the MCU. Just as it was fun to finally have someone get Quill's pop culture references when he met Peter Parker, it's almost certain that Lang and Quill will become instant best friends. We'd love to see them drive Tony Stark and Gamora crazy, provided Gamora makes it back. She can come back, can't she? Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. It's not just shipping new besties that we want to see in Endgame meetups. There are some heroes that are bound for some shared screen time that could set up some amazing storylines from the comics. One of those meetups is between Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. We watch Strange make the transformation from arrogant surgeon to master of the mystical arts with a clear definition of how magic works, thanks to the mentorship of his teacher, the Ancient One. Wanda Maximoff's origin and powers are a little more fuzzy. After Hydra's mad scientist Baron Strucker experimented on her and her brother with Loki's scepter, she gained a set of loosely defined powers. She can cause visions inside the heads of people she touches, as well as move things with her mind. While thanks to the arcane nature of movie rights and who has them, this meant that the MCU can't use the M word, mutants, and that Wanda doesn't call Magneto Dad. We found out from Kevin Feige that Scarlet Witch is in fact manipulating chaos magic just like in the comics. Doctor Strange has been a key factor in teaching Wanda how to use her powers, and in turn, Wanda has been a key factor in a few major storylines, including the House of M, which could be a way for the MCU to welcome the X-Men characters into the shared universe. Then they can finally say mutants. Nick Fury and Spider-Man. Nick Fury has been keeping a low profile since assembling Earth's mightiest heroes. After the events in Winter Soldier, which revealed that his beloved SHIELD had been infiltrated by Hydra, Fury has been laying low, only showing up now and then with a rogue helicarrier to save Sokovians or to page Captain Marvel. We know now that in the second MCU Spider-Man movie, Nick Fury is going to tap the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to take on a super-powered threat. But we're hoping that young Peter gets to meet the top SHIELD agent in Endgame. One of the driving forces for young Parker in the MCU has been his desire to become an Avenger, like his hero Tony Stark. We've even been told that it was a young Parker in that Iron Man mask ready to take on Justin Hammer's rogue drones in Iron Man 2. This is a dream that predates that notorious spider bite. While Tony Stark may have anointed Parker an Avenger on Titan as they and members of the Guardians of the Galaxy prepared to fight against Thanos, only Nick Fury can make it official. What better way to make up for that sad dusting at the end of Infinity War than to see Parker get official Avenger status by Nick Fury himself? Professor Hulk and the Avengers. While we can count on Stark to be bullheaded and arrogant, Captain America to be upstanding, and Thor to be, well, Thor, for the ever-loving Hulk, we can count on the Hulk smashing. While his smashing has been spectacular, his vocabulary has been somewhat limited to calling people puny. That was before Hulk took control and locked Banner out for 2 years while he became the champion of Sakaar, the battle world. In those 2 years, the Hulk hasn't exactly become articulate, but he has moved up from calling things puny. We had a great time watching Thor have to negotiate with a now talking Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, but in Infinity War, the Hulk refused to make an appearance after getting beaten by Thanos. It turns out the Hulk is mad that Banner only calls on the Hulk to smash and feels used. With language comes complex emotions. While Hulk and Banner work out their personal issues, their fellow Avengers are going to have to work out the impulsive and fun-loving Hulk. It's going to take a lot more than sunsets to talk him down now. The prevailing theory is that we'll end up with the best of both worlds in Professor Hulk, all the brains of Banner and the brawn of Hulk in one. Professor Hulk meeting the Avengers is sure to be incredible. Valkyrie and the Avengers. There was a lot to love in Thor Ragnarok beyond the now vocal Hulk. One of those things was the hard-drinking, hard-fighting last of the Valkyries. She's responsible for bringing the Grandmaster both the Hulk and Thor for the Games of Sakaar as Scrapper 142, the Grandmaster's favorite. After Loki reminds her of the Valkyrie's last ride against the powerful Hela, she agrees to join Thor's Revengers to take her on and eventually bring about Ragnarok in order to save the Asgardians. In Infinity War, Okoye and the two women Avengers, Scarlet Witch and Black Widow, teamed up to take on member of the Black Order, Proxima Midnight. It turned out to be one of the standout action sequences of a film packed with action sequences. While there's no rule that the women fight with the women, there's a precedent for a pretty cool team-up from the comics. At one point, Thor's nemesis, the Enchantress, impersonated Valkyrie and formed an all-female team that was able to take on the Avengers, called the Lady Liberators. While we don't expect the women to take on the men in Endgame, or for anyone in the MCU to say Lady Liberators out loud, it would be cool to see a live-action version of the Lady Liberators taking on the threats that arise in Endgame. Not to mention that having another Asgardian like Valkyrie on the team means someone can dish about the God of Thunder. Captain Marvel and everyone. One of the most anticipated events as we bring Phase 3 to an end and launch Phase 4 is the arrival of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. Danvers has been a key figure and powerful superhero in the Marvel Universe, both as an Avenger and a former Kree soldier. It's in an encounter with Danvers that went wrong where Rogue from the X-Men gained the ability to fly and her invulnerability. In the MCU, she's poised to become the most powerful Avenger and likely the key to defeating Thanos and undoing the fatal snap. As a member of the Kree forces and a former Air Force pilot, she's in a unique position to not only understand the cosmic threats that threaten Earth now, but those that have popped up around the galaxy as well. More importantly though, as some of the Avengers we've grown to know and love come to the end of their multi-picture contracts, Captain Marvel is poised to become the new center of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Phase 4 onward. As an Earthling who's been bonded with Kree DNA, she bridges the world of the Earthbound heroes like the Avengers and the cosmic heroes like the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's likely to not only reunite Earth's mightiest heroes, but she may be able to reunite the two worlds of the MCU. These are some of the meetups that we're hoping to see in Avengers Endgame. Did we miss some of your favorites? Are you one of those shipping Peter Parker and Shuri? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more MCU content. Thanks for watching.